attack at a Pennsylvania high school. Student after student slashed and stabbed, and police say it was a 16-year-old boy behind the violence.
High praise for local law enforcement over their response to the Boston Marathon bombings.
You are true heroes to me and this committee.
We're live in Washington, D.C. with WBZ security analyst Ed Davis moments after he testified.
The wrong man arrested in connection with a North End attack. Why prosecutors suddenly dropped the charges in this case.
60s and even some 70s in the forecast. We're going to have to dodge a few showers while the latest timing for the weekend.
I knew she had tied my arms.
And that's when this Lynn man jumped into action. How he managed to save his wife's life.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
A bloody attack at a Pennsylvania high school. A 16-year-old boy armed with 2 knives stabs and slashes his way through classroom after classroom, and tonight he is in custody. Good evening, I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Good to have you along this evening. 20 people were wounded in this attack, 4 critically injured. Emergency crews rushed to the school in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Pittsburgh, shortly after 8 o'clock this morning. Alexis Christophorus is on campus with the details.
Police are trying to figure out why a student went on a stabbing rampage at a high school in Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
The juvenile went down the hallway and was flashing 2 knives around and injured the people.
It happened just as the day was getting started at Franklin Regional High School. 19 students and a school police officer were hurt.
There was this kid laying down and he was holding his side, and there was a teacher on top of him screaming, "Help."
The victims were taken to local hospitals where several underwent surgery.
They each had multiple vital organs injured.
The suspect, a 16-year-old sophomore, was taken into custody after the officer, an assistant principal, and a student all helped subdue him.
I turned around and saw him stab Sarge, the police officer, and afterwards he went down and Mr. King took off to take the kid down, and I was right behind him, and we both jumped on him and immobilized him.
Police say they're looking into a threatening phone call between the suspect and another student the night before the attack. Parents rushed to the school when they got word of the stabbings.
It's just panic right away. You're hitting your stomach, just drops.
Students were taken to another school where they were slowly reunited with their parents. The school will be closed for the next several days while the investigation continues. Alexis Christophorus, CBS News, Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
Governor Patrick assembled a special task force to make recommendations on school safety here in Massachusetts. And one of the goals, make sure all school districts, regardless of their size, are able to provide a safe environment for children. Now, the task force will deliver the recommendations before the new school year starts in the fall.
Boston area law enforcement were recognized today for their actions after the marathon bombing.
Today in Washington, during a Homeland Security Committee hearing, lawmakers praised the way that the city responded to the attacks, but the panel did raise some questions about communication. Lauren Lemanchek joining us live in Washington, D.C. She was at the hearings this morning. Lauren?
Jonathan, to answer those questions, they brought our local first responders here to Washington, D.C. Now, there's clearly still a lot of questions about the way the FBI handled information before and after the attacks, and so today's hearing had a twofold purpose. Number one, to try to prevent something like this from happening in the future. Number two, honoring the heroes of a year ago.
Gentlemen, would you please stand and be recognized?
A standing ovation for the police officers of Watertown. Chief Ed DeVoe beaming with pride.
For 8.5 minutes, we were the best band police department in the world.
The members of this Homeland Security Committee agree the actions of the officers were nothing short of heroic. They also agree key information was withheld from local authorities that could have made a difference.
Some things fell through the cracks.
Tamerlan Tsarnaev was on the FBI's radar years before the bombing. Plus, immediately after Jahar Tsarnaev's capture, federal agents learned he allegedly planned to attack New York.
I was struck by the fact that so far, when he was being interrogated in the hospital, that's when it came out about Times Square, but the NYPD and nobody in New York was told about that by the FBI. Now, at that time, no one knew that those 2 brothers were the only 2 involved. There could have been a conspiracy, and there could have been others on the way to New York.
A concern echoed by former Boston Police Commissioner and WBZ analyst Ed Davis.
We may be holding this information too closely in the interest of prosecution are you know, having justice be the only thing that we think about, because in addition to justice, there is the issue of public safety.
Massachusetts Congressman Bill Keating plans to introduce new legislation to require better communication.
It wasn't just one thing. We saw 3 or 4 red flags that we missed.
And the committee has produced this report. It includes several recommendations of things that can be done differently so that local law enforcement gets the information that they need. Paula?
Gives a clearer picture, Lauren, and it sounds as though there are plans to take action now, but any changes yet?
Well, that is the key question. Are we safer today? And that's what I asked Ed Davis. Here's his response.
Oh, there's no question. The policies have changed. The Bureau came forward, and within the first few weeks after these issues were discovered, they opened up the JTTFs, and it's working much better than it did.
Now tonight at 6, one of the surprises from the hearing. When did the FBI actually have pictures of the marathon bombing suspects, and why did they wait to release them? Live at the Capitol, Lauren Lemanchek, WBZ News. Jonathan, back to you.
Be interesting to see that information. Lauren, thank you. Tonight, construction is underway of the photo bridge over the marathon finish line on Boylston. On April 21st, our crews will be on that bridge, giving you the best view of the marathon runners as they complete the 26.2-mile race. And Sports Illustrated wants you to show off your Boston Strong. Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, you can come to the finish line at the corner of Boylston and Dartmouth to be a part of a cover shoot for the magazine's next issue. Fans are asked to wear their Boston gear and join Mayor Walsh, first responders, survivors, to show their pride 1 year after the bombings. And we'll have special coverage of the Day of Remembrance, Tuesday, April 15th, all day, right here on WBZ. So this is kind of nice. Warmer weather is in our future.
We could say a little bit of rain. As Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher has our AccuWeather forecast, we hope little bit is the key there.
We're not looking at flooding rainfall in the short term, something that we may eye next week. But for tonight, it's all about the clear skies, the cool temperatures. It was a very typical April day. We're in the 50s for the most part across the area. And the coolest air, really, in the entire northeastern quadrant of the country is right here across New England and New York State. At least we're not in the 40s like Buffalo this afternoon. Still pretty gusty outside. Wind gusts up to around 30 miles per hour, so that's keeping it that little extra edge in the air. Tonight, the wind will die down. The skies will clear out. We've got a few fair weather cumulus. They're all melting away. They'll continue to do so at the sunset. And many of the suburbs, they'll be back in the 20s overnight tonight. So very chilly weather. It's after tonight, and we get the morning sunshine tomorrow, that we begin our warming trend. In fact, a very warm trend. Thursday all the way through Monday. And yes, there are some 70s in that forecast. We'll take you through that and chances for rain in a few minutes. Jonathan?
Eric, we'll see you then. Thanks. Charges dropped in a North End sex assault case.
Police say the man they arrested last month was not involved in the attack in February. That means the man responsible, seen here in this surveillance video, is still out there, still on the run. Phil Shields is live for us in Boston. Phil?
The man they arrested was named Ross Currier. He lives in the North End. If you recall, this incident was about mid-February when the woman was attacked. Days later, she identified a suspect in the police lineup. Then a few days after that, she saw Ross Currier playing basketball. Said, that's the guy. As it turns out, that was not the guy.
At the end of this case, he will be exonerated. They have the wrong person. And when the evidence is presented, I think that'll be very clear.
The attorney was right after all. In February, 26-year-old Ross Currier was arrested and charged with sexually assaulting a woman in the North End. He allegedly attacked her in the vestibule of her apartment building, where security camera video showed the suspect running away. Several days later, the victim saw Currier playing basketball and told police that was her attacker.
So that she was 90 to 95% positive that that's the subject who had assaulted her. She became visibly upset and had trouble speaking and shaking and told police, quote, that's him.
But now the charges against Currier have been dropped. The district attorney has terminated the case, saying there's evidence to suggest he was not the assailant. Now, women in the North End are looking over their shoulders once again.
My hopes are for things to stop and that there be more police detail in the neighborhood in general.
You're a little disappointed that the guy they arrested was not the right guy?
Yeah, unfortunately, but I'm sure they will find him.
And the victim of February's assault? Prosecutors said they are confident the victim was operating in good faith when she identified Currier. So we are told that that victim also looked to a couple of examples examples. One of them was that picture in a photo array. As it turns out, it was not that suspect. Courier was also put on a bracelet after that incident. There was another attack about 3 weeks later. He was not around when that attack occurred, according to where that GPS bracelet placed him. So that and the other evidence led them to dismiss the charges. Courier will be here at the courthouse along with his attorney in about 45 minutes to speak with us. Reporting live from downtown Boston, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News. Back to you guys.
All right, Bill, thank you. Well, Pats fans may have loved Brandon Spikes when he played in Foxborough, but you can bet he's not going to get a very warm welcome when he returns with his new team, the Buffalo Bills.
Well, he was a tough customer when he was a Patriot, but today he launched a Twitter war against his former team and his former fans. Steve Burton joins us now, and a lot of people saw these tweets and said, what were you thinking?
Just can't help himself. Wow, that's Brandon Spikes. He just can't help himself. I just got the phone with Brandon Spikes, and he told me it was all good-natured ribbing. But he's trying to stoke up the rivalry between the Pats and Bills. He wants to put Buffalo on the map. So, well, Spikes signed as a free agent with the Bills. He was placed on injury reserve toward the end of the season, and much to his dislike, did not play in the playoffs. He is controversial. Here's a few tweets that ruffled some feathers today. Great games on the schedule for 2014, but it's going to be like Christmas. To hand the hashtag Patriots, hashtag Patriots Nation, a L twice, hashtag Bills Mafia. This one also didn't go over too well. 4 years a slave. We stopped by our sister station, 98.5 The Sports Hub today, to get some reaction. Michael Felger didn't think it's a big issue.
I think he used to do this stuff when he was here too. So he's just doing the Brandon Spikes thing. And now he's actually free to do it. Because here in New England, they frown on any sort of incendiary stuff on Twitter or elsewhere. So now that he's in Buffalo, he can do it, and there will be no repercussions, and that's probably his allusion there to 4 years a slave.
Now, we reached out to the Patriots to see if they had any reaction to Brandon Spikes' tweets. The Pats had no comment.
But that's usually
not surprised about that at all.
But that's not the Patriots' way. Normally, guys leave the Patriots and they're mum about their experience. They just all good things. I rode.
Some guys are. And then there's Wes Walker, who left, and
he didn't say much.
Shots, and
I rode.
Yeah, kind of.
Nothing quite like this.
No.
Locker room material.
There you go.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Well, the college basketball season may be over, but a UMass player is making history. Derek Gordon just came out, making him the first openly gay player in Division I men's basketball. Gordon started all 33 games for UMass this season and played a big role as the Minutemen made it back to the big dance for the first time since 1998. In an interview with ESPN, he said he just didn't want to hide anymore. He was waiting for a Division I player to come out until he finally said to himself, why not me? Gordon said his head coach, Derek Kellogg, and teammates reacted to his announcement by giving him their full support.
It was all just like, all right, we're going to support you no matter what. We're going to be there for you, and this doesn't change anything. And that's what I want. I don't want them to feel that they have to act a different way around me or be a different way. Honestly, the way I feel now is honestly indescribable. I just feel like a bunch of weights just been lifted off my shoulders and I can fly.
The UMass Chancellor and Athletic Director have also released statements supporting Derek Gordon.
Coming up for us, on the hunt for these unconventional thieves, how they are rigging ATMs to rob people. We'll tell you about that.
Also ahead, millions of Toyotas around the world are being recalled. More than 24 models are on a list for a variety of problems.
And a seasoned skier seriously hurt on the back trails of an icy New Hampshire mountain. How he found his way back to his car to get help.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
Buy 2 rooms of flooring with installation and get product for the rest of your home for $99. 877-241 Luna.
I wake up every morning and wonder, how in the heck am I ever going to get out of bed and onto these feet? And I found good feet, and I instantly felt the comfort. I used to have bad feet. Now I have good feet.
For a location near you, visit BostonFootPain.com.
The character of a champion includes overcoming adversity. And in last year's marathon, Lisa DeCisa was the champion.
The Boston Marathon.
DeCisa felt touched by the tragedy, and he wanted to bring the champion's medal and present it back to the city of Boston. He came back to present that most cherished of symbols to a city that had shown the resilience of a champion. His way of saying, we're all champions, we all share this.
traditions are alive and well in the north end of Boston. Like coming home for Prince Spaghetti Day. For over 100 years, Prince and families like Anthony's have been making great pasta and wonderful memories. So come home to the pasta that was born in Boston. Come home to Prince, especially on Wednesday, Prince Spaghetti Day.
You'll notice the Goya difference even before you taste it. Bring the delicious flavors of onion, garlic, and Latin spices to your meal in just 2 easy steps with Goya yellow rice. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Termites in your basement? Ants in your kitchen? Ticks and mosquitoes in your yard? With Modern Pest Services, you'll never worry about a pest, stinging insect, or wildlife issue again. Call now and your first service is free. Pest problems? Not on our watch.
At UMass Lowell, we're dedicated to helping you become work-ready, life-ready, world-ready. An education that's affordable and world-class. It's why our online degree programs have won prestigious national awards for excellence. Come discover UMass Lowell's online degree programs. All highly interactive, all backed by the academic integrity of a top-ranked research university. Pursue your degree online or on campus from one of the largest continuing education programs in the Northeast. Visit continuinged.uml.edu.
I was in constant pain.
Constant pain.
But I felt relief right away with Good Feet and has allowed me to live a full and pain-free life.
Take that first step, pain-free.
For a location near you, visit bostonfootpain.com. A skier comes flying down this icy mountain in North New Hampshire, and despite a concussion and several injuries, this guy was able to think clearly enough to take a picture of himself moments after the fall. And then it gets interesting, because then he limped, all bloodied and bruised, and made it safely after many hours of covering very difficult terrain.
Yeah, he's back home now, and today he spoke about his amazing story of survival with our New Hampshire Bureau Chief, Michael Rosenfield.
She had a gut feeling that something bad happened when I didn't get back down at 5.
Patrick Luke is nursing a broken nose and bumps and bruises all over his body after a frightening fall on Mount Adams. He had just finished a 3-hour hike and was ready to ski back down.
I was basically just standing there, looking down, planning on how I was going to ski down, and basically looking on how I want to take my route. And that's one nice slab that I was standing on broke loose.
Luke, who's 22, is an experienced backcountry skier, and he was alone.
So I started sliding, flailed around for a little bit. A few seconds into the fall, I went to go swing with my ice axe that I had on my hand, and I was going so fast at that point, just snapped right off my hand. The restraint came off my wrist with my ski pole, and just kept on tumbling down.
Fish and Game officials estimate he fell several hundred feet before landing at the bottom of the ravine, and they say his helmet undoubtedly saved his life. Luke, who snapped this picture of himself after the fall, couldn't reach 911 on his cell phone, and for 7 hours he would crawl and slide his way back to a trail which would lead him to safety.
The sun went down at about 7, got really dark. Thankfully the moon was out a little bit, so I had a little bit of light to see where I was going, but a lot of the time I was just feeling around, feeling for the ski tracks that I was falling down.
When Patrick finally made it back to his car in the parking lot, he was able to charge his cell phone and call state police. Did you ever doubt that you would get out?
I had a little bit of doubt at a few points, but...
In Ware, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Hope he recovers quickly. What a tough kid he is. All right, drive anywhere in Massachusetts, and chances are you have to avoid a pothole. Big ones. Now the State Department of Transportation is making $40 million available to fix the roads. Starting today, cities and towns can apply for some of that money. About $10 million of it is already earmarked for state roads. Officials say that the roads are in worse shape than usual. In fact, cities and towns can also use the money for repaving projects or maybe fix signs and guardrails. The projects must be finished by September or the money will have to be returned. There are some potholes out there that are so big. I mean,
How big are they?
a family of squirrels that made one home. I mean, and they're comfortable.
Why stop at squirrels?
They have their own rooms.
inside one.
Fix those potholes.
Oh, there's so many cars being damaged by what's going on with these
Brutal
potholes.
winter, just what happens.
So nice now, though. And you were saying great viewing night.
So Jonathan and I were in the parking lot after the 11 last night.
Looking for Jupiter.
We're looking at some celestial viewing, and Mars is a great sight right now. And if you look out tonight, now it was in opposition last night. I wasn't going to correct you, no. We're talking about many planets that are up there right now, and Mars in particular, with clear skies tonight. Going to be fantastic. It's going to make its closest pass to Earth on the 14th, so next Monday. However, as it gets to that date, I think it's going to be a lot cloudier outside. So if you want low humidity, great viewing, if you have a telescope in the backyard, you want to take a picture, tonight is going to be one of your best nights. It rises in the east just after sunset. It'll be hard to miss. It looks just like a star in the sky. We have clear skies, as a matter of fact, right now. A few cumulus still just holding on, but they will melt away. There's nothing else going on in the northeastern United States. So we're looking at a mainly clear evening and a cold one at that. The wind's going to die down. We've got very dry air in place, and so temperatures will fall down quickly. 26 in Fitchburg, 29 alone in Worcester tonight, 24 in Keene. If you're doing a little early gardening, most of the plants this time of the year are hardy, but certainly going to be the coldest night of the week. Tomorrow will rebound very nicely, well up into the 60s for some areas. I think especially here, southern New Hampshire into Metro West, this is where you get no influence from the water. Then you get to southeastern Mass, well, upper 40s around 50 for Chatham and Nantucket, lower 50s in New Bedford, and upper 50s in Taunton. You'll get a little more influence out of that south-southwesterly wind. Tomorrow morning will be a very chilly start, but lots of sunshine. The wind starts to kick up again by lunch. We'll be in the 50s, will be quite breezy, and then very gusty in the afternoon. Some of those gusts up to 35 miles per hour. 60s inland, but cooler, especially on the south coast and down across the Cape and the islands. Then we head toward tomorrow night. The clouds will be increasing. Really thin front is going to move across. This is going to bring a little band of rain share activity late at night and into Friday morning, perhaps for the drive. Not going to see a lot of rain with this one, but the clouds may linger on Friday. We'll call it veiled sunshine. Be brightest north of the Pike, but it's going to stay pretty damp as you move down toward the south coast and the Cape. And then another system starts to approach as we head into Saturday. So this front across northern New England on Friday is going to be just fine and bright. Then we'll watch this next wave move through. The weekend starts wet, but it gets warm by the time we get into Sunday and Monday. We'll talk about how warm next half hour. Jonathan, Paula, back to you.
Eric, thanks.
Thank you so much. We're following some breaking news out of Florida this afternoon. A hit-and-run crash at a daycare center in Orlando. We understand 11 children and 1 adult are hurt there. Police say some of the victims had very serious injuries. Right now, the search is on for an SUV that slammed into the building and then took off.
Toyota is announcing another massive recall.
This one affects more than 6 million vehicles around the world, and it includes several different defects. David Wade is here tonight. David?
Paula, this is one of the largest recalls ever. It involves 27 Toyota models. Among them, certain years of the Highlander, the Matrix, the RAV4, and the Corolla. Now, we're talking about several defects that need to be fixed. The biggest, a faulty cable that can deactivate the driver's side airbag and keep it from deploying during a crash. Some vehicles need a new seat rail that holds the driver's seat in place, and other cars may have steering columns that can come loose. Now, you may remember 5 years ago, Toyota had to recall about 4 million floor mats because of the gas pedal sticking. And just last month, Toyota paid a $1.2 billion fine for that recall. The list of the newly recalled vehicles is very, very long, so we took all the information, we put it on our website. CBSBoston.com is the place to go for that. Jonathan and Paula?
David, thank you for that. And when we come back, a security breach that went unnoticed for 2 years.
Still ahead, the sites that were vulnerable and what you should do if you visited one of them.
Plus, Prince George's first ever royal playdate. Now here's a look at what's coming up at 6 o'clock with Lisa Hughes.
Well, Jonathan and Paula, Boston's doctors on the cutting edge of technology. New at 6 o'clock. The hospital giving all its ER docs Google Glass. The powerful instant access to information and how it just might save lives at 6.
Our faith in each other, our common creed cuts across whatever superficial differences there may be.
And that is our power.
That is our strength.
That's why a bomb can't beat us.
We carry on.
We race! And we come together to celebrate life.
And to cheer for our team.
The crowds will gather.
On the third Monday in April, the world
will return to great American city. And to cheer even louder.
Bet on it.
Bet on it.
Bet on it. Bet on it.
Bet on it.
Backed by popular demand and only at K&G, 100% wool suits are now just $99.99. Plus select designer suits are $199.99. Buy one, get 2 free. Refresh your look for Easter at K&G.
K&G.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know bad news doesn't always travel fast?
happens.
Todd? You're fired. Well, gotta run. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The real deal is the Passat TDI Clean Diesel gets up to 795 highway miles per tank.
Actually, we're throwing in a $1,000 fuel reward card. We've never done that. That's why there's never been a better time to buy a Passat TDI Clean Diesel.
So it's like 2 deals in 1.
Exactly.
During the first ever Volkswagen TDI Clean Diesel event, get a great deal on a Passat TDI that gets up to 795 highway miles per tank. And get a $1,000 fuel reward card. It's like 2 deals in 1. Hurry in and get a $1,000 fuel reward card and 0.9% APR for 60 months on TDI models.
A wet basement can be a homeowner's worst nightmare. CrackX, industry leader in foundation crack repair, solves concrete problems permanently and affordably. Call us for a free estimate or visit us at crackx.com. CrackX, 25 years of stopping leaks, guaranteed.
They say the dollar's weak. Well, it's about to get stronger because Planet Fitness is having their dollar sale between now and April 10th. Sign up for Planet Fitness for only $1, then pay just $10 a month with no commitment. Only at Planet Fitness.
Backed by popular demand and only at K&G, 100% wool suits are now just $99.99. Plus select designer suits are $199.99. Buy one, get 2 free. Refresh your look for Easter at K&G.
K&G. Britain's baby Prince George is making some new friends in New Zealand.
And his first play date, a royal play date at an event during his parents' royal tour. As Tina Krause shows us, people just can't get enough of this cute baby boy.
At 8 months old, Prince George is already commanding the attention of a room. He pushed through playmates at a royal engagement in New Zealand, trying to stand but not quite getting there. The pint-sized prince wore luxury overalls for the play date, as his parents, Prince William and Kate, had some baby talk with grown-ups. They revealed Prince George is sleeping well and has moved on to solid food. At one point, he tried to move on to a little girl, but she made it clear he was not her Prince Charming. This photo op bears a resemblance to another 3 decades ago. Prince William was 9 months old and a big hit when his parents introduced him to the world on a trip to New Zealand. 31 years later, Prince George is making a similar impact.
He's a lovely little boy. He was, yes, he's very intrepid.
He's bubbly, a little bit feisty too.
Prince George seemed quite comfortable being the center of attention, a good trait for a future king. Tina Krause, CBS News.
That is a thriving baby.
Good-looking kid.
Very cute. Well, he's on trial for murdering his girlfriend, and prosecutors grilled Olympian Oscar Pistorius.
What they wanted him to look at during cross-examination that had the man breaking down on the stand.
Plus, technology made right here in Massachusetts, helping in the search for the missing Malaysian Airlines plane. How the Bluefin 21 could make all the difference.
Thieves stealing information from people's ATM cards, why police are putting out an alert and new information they hope will help solve the crime.
From Hopkinton to Boston, there's only one place to see the whole race. WBZ, proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon. Like us, and you could drive away with the car of your dreams. Enter the Like CBS and Win sweepstakes, and you could win an all-new 2015 Audi A3. Go to our Facebook page, click like, and enter for your chance to win.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Use special Truck Month pricing to get a total value of over $8,100 on the Silverado All-Star Edition with best-in-class V8 fuel economy.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
All this week, Reed's Ferry Sheds are 10% off. Every Reed's Ferry Shed, 10% off list price now through next Saturday, April 19th. See 5 acres of sheds on display at Reed's Ferry. Get better quality than the box store and save 10% on the shed price. Go online to reedsferry.com. Order this week and save 10% during the spring sale.
Call 888
85 Sheds. 10% off a Reed's Ferry Shed. You got a good one.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Blue Cross Blue Shield of you.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. Two items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting. Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
It's a springtime sale extravaganza this week at Namco. Buy an 18-foot Solstice pool for just $11.99. An amazing savings of $1,700. Or buy one of our all-new Allura pools and get a standard pool package for free. That's a $900 value, absolutely free. And get reduced minimum financing. But act now, this springtime sale ends on April 13th. And new for 2014, place your order online and pick it up in store at your convenience. Visit namcopool.com for details.
Ed Davis, exclusive security analyst, only on WBZ News.
Tonight at 5:30, significant developments in the search for that missing Malaysian airline flight 370.
U.S. Navy equipment just picked up 2 more underwater signals that could be from the plane's black box. But the sounds are getting weaker, and it's a race against time to find the wreckage. As Michelle Roberts shows us, crews are now using a vessel made right here in Massachusetts to help in their search.
New clues arise from the depths of the Indian Ocean. Underwater signals have been picked up and they could be coming from the missing Malaysia airliner. Now crews are sending one of the most advanced search tools to investigate. It's called the Bluefin 21 and it will scour an area the size of Texas, 40 square miles every day.
The temperature is about slightly above freezing. It's pitch black. The pressure there is the equivalent of having a Cadillac Escalade balanced on your thumbnail.
David Kelly is the CEO of Bluefin Robotics. The Quincy company tested the technology in local waters. Now one of the devices is aboard the Australian ship in the southern Indian Ocean. The Bluefin will zigzag through the waters where the pings were heard. Sonar technology will scan the ocean floor.
You're looking for man-made features, which are almost always right angles. You're looking for patterns. You're looking for collections of things that stand out.
William O'Halloran is in charge of Bluefin's marine operations. He'll analyze the data when the vessel surfaces every 24 hours, but there's a lot of ocean to cover.
Part of the challenge with this type of operation is just being able to sort of stay the course and withstand the amount of time it takes to do the search.
That was Michelle Roberts reporting, and Michelle tells us if the Bluefin discovers anything out of place, it will return to the area with high-resolution cameras for a second look. But in an area as remote as the Indian Ocean, researchers say the device can be, at best, considered a starting point.
Tonight, a somber President Obama returned to Fort Hood, grieving once again. The commander-in-chief attended a memorial service at the Texas Army base. He remembered the 3 soldiers killed in last week's shooting rampage as American patriots. The president also had a message for their children.
We live in a dangerous world, and your fathers served to keep you safe and us safe. They knew you have so much to give to our country that you'd make them proud.
Now, the gunman in the rampage did take his own life. 16 other soldiers were injured, but all are expected to survive.
The chief prosecutor in the Oscar Pistorius murder trial brought the track star to tears on the stand. During today's cross-examination, the attorney challenged the Olympian to take responsibility for killing his girlfriend. Pistorius repeatedly said he did shoot and kill the woman, but insisted it was a mistake. The prosecutor then urged the athlete to look at a picture of his girlfriend's shattered skull, but he refused.
I will not look at a picture where I'm tormented by what I saw and felt that night. As I picked Reva up, my fingers touched her head. I remember. I don't have to look at a picture. I was there.
If convicted of premeditated murder, Pistorius could get life behind bars.
Tonight, people who bank in Cambridge are on high alert because somebody attached a skimmer to ATMs around town, accessing people's PIN numbers and their accounts. And today, police released the new surveillance photos. As Christina Hager shows us, they're hoping that these pictures will lead to a break in this case.
The pictures are close up, and no one here is covering up. Police say these men stole personal information from people's bank cards, including PIN numbers, and used it to drain their accounts.
They are great quality photos.
Cambridge Detective Brian O'Connor specializes in computer crimes.
They could be anywhere. They could still be in the Boston area.
He says it happened here in Central Square. The men outfitted at least one bank's ATM, maybe more, with a skimming device. Something like this left on for a couple months. Countless swipes.
There are things that banks and credit card companies can do to help. Something as low-tech as a shield to block the view of the PIN pad. Or more high-tech, chip technology can be installed in the credit cards themselves to make them more secure.
We're going to have to upgrade the chip and PIN to thwart all the criminal hackers and ATM skimmers.
Meantime, experts say cover the PIN pad with your hand and check your statements.
The earlier you recognize that something's not supposed to be on there, the earlier you catch the fraud.
And take a close look at these pictures. Police say if you recognize these men, you could save a lot of people a lot of headaches. In Cambridge, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
Police say that those skimmers were on the Cambridge ATM from November to January, but it wasn't until now that suspicious activity started showing up on bank statements. Much money's been taken so far, but we know that there were significant withdrawals made from New York.
Police in Manchester, New Hampshire are searching for a bank robber. At about 9 o'clock this morning, this man walked into the People's United Bank on Elm Street and gave the teller a note demanding cash. He kept a hand in his pocket, signifying he had a weapon, but no one ever saw a gun. If you recognize him, you're asked to call Manchester Police.
Another warning for you about your security, a warning about online security, and a breach that took place that could put your information in jeopardy. Officials say that the Heartbleed breach went undetected for more than 2 years. The bug compromised web encryption technology used on many major websites, and it may have exposed millions of passwords, credit card numbers, and other personal information to hackers. So to protect yourself, it's an easy thing to do. Just go in and change your passwords.
Well, Twitter is in the middle of launching a new layout, and it looks a lot like Facebook. One new feature, larger photos on profile pages. First Lady Michelle Obama is one of the first people to get the new layout. Twitter's trying to appeal to new users, thinking they may be intimidated by all of the text and quirky acronyms like hashtags and all the @ symbols associated with Twitter. Massachusetts State Police are rolling out a new smartphone app. Now, if you have your phone's GPS feature turned on, it offers will also use the app to post pictures of missing people or crime suspects.
Smart. All right, this flag could be one of the most valuable in history. The history behind the flag, well, that's coming up for you.
Plus, you've heard of college internships, but how about getting on-the-job experience starting as a high school student? Why these younger kids are in high demand.
There's always a reason for a makeover.
Because my ex keyed my car.
Because a tree hit my car.
But most importantly, because we're having our biggest overall paint sale of the year. Paint makeovers as low as $4.99. Mako, America's Body Shop.
I was impressed with how many great reviews they had.
What makes CertaPro different is that our people really care about making our customers happy.
They asked what they could do to make painting an extraordinary experience for us. And they kept the gate latched.
We work from a personalized written certainty pledge.
CertaPro painters did a wonderful job. They respected our lifestyle and our home.
It's about 5-star craftsmanship and having truly satisfied customers. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, because painting is personal.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
It doesn't make sense. How can any company offer 50 or 60% off all the time? Something's not right. So I did some research. And you know what? National Floors Direct beat their 60% off price without a sale.
At National Floors Direct, we offer next-day installation of name-brand carpeting, hardwood, and laminate flooring. And we'll beat anyone's price by 15% or it's free. Call 888-400.
for a free estimate.
I saved $400.
Call 888-400-4. We guarantee to save you more.
I heard Fios is amazing.
Fios really does seem like the best. I know Fios is better. It has.
Heard you, and we get it. So now we've made it easier than ever to switch.
I am always worried that the price is going to change.
Get a 2-year price guarantee.
I really don't like contracts.
With no annual contract required.
Installation can be a pain.
And professional installation by a local Verizon technician you can depend on. It's all part of our worry-free guarantee.
Get a Fios Triple Play online for just $89.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee and no annual contract. Plus, get a free upgrade to Fios Quantum Internet for 2 years and switch with the confidence of a worry-free guarantee. But hurry, this incredible offer ends soon. Verizon Fios is 100% fiber optic. Can deliver incredible HD picture quality and America's fastest, most reliable internet. Hurry, this offer ends April 19th. Just visit Verizon.com/worry-free.
Making it easier than ever to get the best. That's powerful.
There's always a reason for a makeover.
Because my ex keyed my car.
Because a tree hit my car.
But most importantly, because we're having our biggest overall paint sale of the year. Mako, America. Sponsored by Sleep, the mattress professionals.
Getting an internship as a college student can be a challenge now that there is much more competition than ever before. In fact, younger students now are vying for some real-world experience.
As Kate Merrill explains, high school students are now trying to squeeze internships into their already busy schedules.
Lane Sutton is a popular person around the Boston company HubSpot. But this is no marketing professional. He is an intern, and he's still in high school.
I was able to see all of the components of a company working together. You have to differentiate yourself, and that's why it's so important to do a lot, especially when you're young.
Internships like these are typically reserved for college students. But Lane says this is the early start he needs, and companies are embracing the trend.
Companies are looking to tap this new generation in order to fuel what they do with technology in the workplace. It's 74% of those companies surveyed said that they're recruiting social media marketing interns.
Lane hopes starting young will pay off down the road.
You never know how those connections can get you really far in life and in your future.
But this isn't just about a future career. Framingham High School's internship coordinator, Linda Curtis, says the results can be immediate.
These students come back to school and they're more focused, they're more excited about what they're learning. Suddenly, the real world is real to them.
Finding internships for high schoolers is not always easy. Linda tells us she has to make a strong sales pitch to get some companies on board, but she says it's worth it to help prepare kids for the realities of today's job market. Kate Merrill, WBZ News. What should have been a day of triumph for Chrissy Marr turned into a day of terror and fear. After the break, how this young woman from West Roxbury is moving on and moving forward after the attacks.
We look at our forecast. It is all 60s and 70s through Tuesday of next week. There's some raindrops mixed in there. We'll talk about the timing coming up.
Wide-ranging, enterprising, non-sensational storytelling. For overall excellence in coverage, WBZ-TV and WBZ News Radio 1030 are honored to receive the George Foster Peabody Award. So when stories matter to you, turn to the team you trust. We are WBZ News.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the City Wing Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
The most important thing about the Vernon Cancer Center is that we have high expertise in the medical oncology field who provide compassion, care, understanding for patients and their families as they go through this journey of cancer. We strive to have a multidisciplinary approach to cancer care, including supportive services. I think a good doctor shows compassion, caring, the ear to listen, and just helping the patient through their journey.
Whether you're an athlete, volunteer, or fan, we run together in the 2014 Boston Marathon. Join the conversation and share your story. #WeRunTogether.
Hi, I'm Dan Ray, here at Window World to show you just how much heat you're losing through your old drafty windows. This is a standard window. What do you feel?
Whoa, a lot of heat.
A lot of heat. All right. This is a Window World window. Much of a difference?
A lot of difference. I don't feel any heat at all.
It's cold. It's really not. Big difference? No, big difference, yes. It's amazing.
Wow, there's nothing. I feel nothing.
Think you save some money?
Absolutely.
Big difference? I don't feel anything at all. Energy bills will only get higher, but Window World has an amazing offer to change that. A house full of beautiful windows. 10 Energy Star windows for just $29.65 or just $105 a month.
$105 a month. You definitely gotta check it out.
Just $105 a month for these windows?
We could do that.
That is affordable.
Enhance where you stay and save thousands along the way. With Window World. I'm a customer, you should be too.
Call now 866-830-5000.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the City Wing Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
Beep, beep. She says, switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds.
Call or click today.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Good banking is good citizenship.
The face of one young woman became an iconic image from the Boston Marathon bombing. Christy Marr was being comforted as she walked away from those explosions in tears.
I sat down with her recently and she told me on Marathon Monday she'll be back with a special reason to cross the finish line again.
I've been watching this race since I was a little girl, so I was so excited.
Chrissy Marr had completed her first Boston Marathon.
But I was so just exhausted.
She was looking for her dad and uncle, race officials at the finish line, and her siblings when excitement turned to horror.
I don't know who my dad is. I don't know who my friends are.
Her face, the picture of sadness and fear, captured the anguish of the shocked onlooker in all of us. The image was seen around the world.
Yeah.
When you look at that picture,
Yeah.
what do you remember thinking and feeling in that moment?
My heart was broken. I didn't know if everyone was okay. I'm always going to be really sad when I see this image. There's just blood everywhere. I just couldn't imagine something so horrible could have happened after something so exciting.
Trauma so intense, she still can't remember running her 26.2-mile race.
And then when I finally got home at 11 o'clock at night, I had 240 text messages, 40 missed calls. My mailbox was full. I had so many messages about people who were saying, I thought of you right when I heard it was bombed. But then I turned on the TV and I saw you were okay.
What she does remember from the medical tent is bravery and kindness.
It's just incredible how quickly those people responded.
They knew what to do.
They knew what to do.
Which was incredible. 12 months later, Chrissy has new focus. She took a job at MIT last fall. This time, she runs Boston on the MIT Strong Team in memory of another innocent bystander, MIT officer Sean Collier. What would you say to his family and the people who loved him? Your team is running in his honor.
I mean, his family has raised him so well. For someone who was able to make such an impact on a community like this, he's, what I've heard, such a wonderful person.
A person who's given Chrissy new inspiration to have a race to remember.
I'm running for those victims. I'm running for their families, for all they've been through. I'm running for the heroes of this year. I'm running for Sean. And I'm running for my uncle, my dad. And I'm so proud.
If you'd like to support Chrissy and the MIT Strong Team, you can find all the information on our website at cbsboston.com. And if you by any chance missed our special 1-hour presentation, Boston Marathon, The Road Ahead, you have another chance to see it. It will re-air on Saturday at 11:35 right here on WBZ Saturday night. So set your DVR.
That's the hard part about all of this is, years gone by, so many people have made such progress, but you see these stories, you hear these stories, and we're going to be back to the finish line in a couple of weeks, and it just will come right back.
Really, really.
But it'll be good to be together with everybody and do it again.
Moving on.
Yeah.
snow, and we have the beautiful weather back.
We do. Spring is here.
You'll be one of the guys crossing the finish line. You've been training like crazy. Good for you.
Yeah, we are in the taper time now, and you can finally run without the full gear on.
You ready to go?
Temperatures. I'm ready to go.
Feeling good?
Really, watching all these stories, I gotta say, I can feel that it's going to be overwhelming. I've never done Boston before, and the build-up it's getting there.
A friend of mine told me just today this will be a marathon like we have never seen or felt before.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on outside. Now, we're getting a lot of pictures in. I gotta say, folks, I'm getting greedy. We got a lot of good pictures, a lot of good crocus pictures here. Sheriff said this one in Chelsea. I want to see some daffodils. I want to see some forsythia. I want to see some change as these warmer temperatures work their way in. More and more will be showing up across the region, I guarantee you that. 59, the high in Boston today. 53 in Worcester. Generally, we're up in the 50s, a very typical April day. Wind has been gusty, though, a little bit pesky. Gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour. It'll stay windy through this evening for all the folks out there, maybe kids doing some springtime sports. Then the wind will be dying down as the sun goes down. Much calmer tonight. There's nothing going on in the northeast. So it'll be clear skies and a very cold evening. This is the coldest night this week. Clear, chilly, some 20s in the suburbs, lower 30s in the city and near the coast. But certainly, if you've been doing some early gardening, well, sub-freezing temperatures, something to watch. 24 low in Keene, 26 Fitchburg, Taunton down to 29. So it'll be some very crisp feeling to the air tomorrow morning. We'll rebound nicely. It is all about location, as it always is in the springtime. 60s here across much of the interior, but as you head down toward the Cape, the islands, south coast, 40s to low 50s. The wind off the water will definitely make it feel much chillier there. So we're looking at the cold start with sunshine tomorrow morning. As we head toward midday, it's breezy, still plenty of sun up into the 50s, and gusts could approach 35 or 40 miles per hour during tomorrow afternoon. So really gusty, 60s for the interior, much cooler at the coast. There will be an elevated fire risk. Not a good day to burn any brush if you've been doing some yard work. We head into tomorrow night. The clouds will be thickening. Really thin front moves in. There's just a bit of moisture along with it. There'll be some rain showers overnight into early Friday morning. And the clouds may linger for much of the day on Friday. Don't think the rain will come back in until we head into Friday night and Saturday. So the idea is that as you head north and west of the Pike in particular, I think you'll get into some of the sunshine here on Friday. We'll stay more cloudy, murky around the south coast and the Cape. As we go into Saturday morning, a little wave of low pressure moves across. That brings a batch of rain. Don't think it'll cause flooding, but not a day where you need to run out the door right away. You won't feel that. We'll see the sunshine as we get toward the afternoon and the evening. Sunday, some clouds move in along our warm fronts. The warmth will be starting to push its way in, but the floodgates are fully open as we head into Monday. This is our chance at 70+. If we can get a decent amount of sunshine as we head into Monday, not outside a possibility that we could hit 80 degrees. We'll have to see how things pan out as we get a bit closer. With the warmer air, as you might imagine, the pollen counts are high. Predominant allergens are juniper, poplar, and maple right now. A lot of sniffling and sneezing starting to show up. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Look at all those 60s and 70s. My goodness. Few showers on Friday morning, wet Saturday morning, mainly dry on Sunday. There could be a sprinkle or two. Then the next big storm to watch is Tuesday into Wednesday. That could be a pretty big soaker, and it's much colder behind that rain. Our schoolyard shout-out for tonight. Daniel Niles visited the Argenziano School in Somerville, kindergarten through 5th grade classroom. All these school visits coming to a head this time of year. We're starting to think about vacation week is next week, and then right after that, we're in the home stretch to summer vacation.
They start thinking about summer right after Christmas break is over.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids and some of the parents and teachers alike, everyone's getting ready.
All right, Eric, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, a piece of history hit the auction block today. Take a look at this. This is the Forester flag. It is said to be the earliest existing flag designed to represent the 13 original colonies. This 60 by 63 inch red silk flag has 13 ivory stripes on the left corner, one stripe obviously to represent each of the colonies. Auction house Doyle, New York expects the flag to sell for between $1 and $3 million. Well, he jumped into action when his wife collapsed.
My angel.
Oh, it's a great story. When we return, this man's heroic efforts to bring back the woman he loves. And now here are David and Lisa. They have a look at what's coming up at 6. Paula and Jonathan, in the days after the Boston Marathon bombing, investigators poured over tens of thousands of images trying to find the attackers.
But once the FBI had these pictures, did it wait too long to release them? Next at 6, the delay that was never explained, even to the head of the Boston Police Department.
And wrongly accused of sexual assault, the man now cleared in a North End attack. He's expected to speak publicly about his ordeal next at 6.
They say the dollar's weak. Well, it's about to get stronger because Planet Fitness is having their dollar sale between now and April 10th. Sign up for Planet Fitness for only $1, then pay just $10 a month with no commitment. Only at Planet Fitness.
As one of the most injured players in sports history, I'd wake up every morning and wonder, how in the heck am I ever going to get out of bed and onto these feet? And I found Good Feet, and I instantly felt the comfort, the support and foundation that's been lacking forever. Thanks to Good Feet, I now wake up enjoying and appreciating life with a whole new outlook. I used to have bad feet. Now I have Good Feet.
For a location near you, call 617-581-6989 or visit bostonfootpain.com.
Hi, I'm Roberto Napoli. People always ask me, what is the Nicolak difference? When it comes to product, homeowners want the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is Nicolak. This is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a paper-shield product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolak difference.
For more information, visit Nicolak.com/TV2.
Real people, steel people. When it comes to quality, reliability, and value, they just won't compromise. This spring, legendary steel chainsaws start at just $179.95. Plus, get the hardworking Steel FS56 RCE straight shaft trimmer at its new low price of $199.95. Visit SteelDealers.com. They say the dollar's weak. Well, it's about to get stronger because Planet Fitness is having their dollar sale between now and April 10th. Sign up for Planet Fitness for only $1, then pay just $10 a month with no commitment. Only at Planet Fitness.
She's everything to me, and there was no way I was going to let it go.
Her heart stopped beating, but what her husband did next saved her life. The Lynn woman collapsed after having an asthma attack, and then she went into cardiac arrest.
As Katie Brace shows us, with the help of two heroes, brought her back to life.
I knew she had died in my arms.
By all accounts, that was true. Ken Dexter's wife, Kim, suffers from chronic asthma. Officer Ralph Sorois was one of the first on the scene.
And her face was blue.
Kim suffered an asthma attack like nothing she had experienced. She is fortunately alive and back at home.
So when did you realize, or did you realize, I'm in trouble?
When I couldn't walk. The couple was about to drive to the ER, but that changed when Kim could barely move and went into cardiac arrest.
And I just took his face in my hands, and I shook my head no. I had no air left.
That was Kim's last memory. Ken remembers everything that happened next.
I was kneeling right here, doing CPR on her.
Ken relied on his nursing training and started CPR. Their teenage son called 911. Police officers were first to arrive with the rescue gear.
Every 15 chest compressions, I was taking my rescue breaths.
When the officers arrived, instead of taking over, they say Ken was key in keeping Kim alive.
Ken was actually doing really good chest compressions.
Ken humbly plays off his quick thinking and life-saving efforts.
I can't fathom living without her, so losing her that day was horrible.
He let the officers and EMTs take over. By the time Kim was loaded into the ambulance, she was talking.
My angel.
The Dexters have met with the officers to thank them for their efforts, and Kim is under orders from the doctors to rest until at least next week. In Lynn, Katie Brace, WBZ News.
Certainly a good reminder for anybody who lives with someone with chronic asthma.
Oh boy.
And we have much more news still ahead.
That is going to do it for us at 5 o'clock, but the news at 6 starts right now.
A botched arrest in a North End attack. Why prosecutors suddenly dropped the case.
Snapshots of the Boston Marathon bombing suspects. Did the FBI wait to release them to the public? We're live in Washington as Congress examines the massive manhunt.
A Boston hospital giving all its ER doctors Google Glass.
You can be completely hands-free.
Dr.Mallika Marshall shows us how this innovation is saving time and may even save lives.
We finally topped 60 yesterday. Now we have our eyes set on 70 degrees when some of that springtime magic may happen.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
Prosecutors now admit they charged the wrong man for sexual assault in the North End. I'm David Wade in for Jack Williams.
I'm Lisa Hughes. Russ Currier was arrested last month after a woman saw him on the street and said he was the man who sexually assaulted her on Valentine's Day. Prosecutors say Currier has an alibi and the evidence doesn't match up. Bill Shields is live in Boston tonight. Bill, this is what Currier has said from the beginning.
From the very beginning, and now his attorney is backing me and talking. We expect Ross to be talking shortly. Let me give you a little background on this. Back in mid-February, there was a sexual assault in the North End. That victim identified Ross Currier as the man who assaulted her. He had an alibi, but they had to check it out, so then they put a GPS bracelet on him. There was another assault. At that time, the second assault on a different woman, that GPS bracelet showed that Ross Currier was nowhere around. So that's the background. Let's run the tape on this story that has people in the North End scratching their heads.
In February, 26-year-old Ross Currier was arrested and charged with sexually assaulting a woman in the North End. He allegedly attacked her in the vestibule of her apartment building, where security camera video showed the suspect running away. And several days later, the victim saw Currier playing basketball and told police that was her attacker.
So that she was 90 to 95% positive that that's the subject who had assaulted her. She became visibly upset and had trouble speaking and shaking and told police, quote, "That's him."
But now the charges against Currier have been dropped. The district attorney has terminated the case, saying there's evidence to suggest he was not the assailant. The attorney was right after all.
At the end of this case, he will be exonerated. They have the wrong person, and when the evidence is presented, I think that'll be very clear.
Now, women in the North End are looking over their shoulders once again.
My hopes are for things to stop and that there be more police detail in the neighborhood in general.
The district attorney has also issued a statement in this saying that they believe that they null process case and that was the accurate and the right way to go. The defense attorney is still speaking. We expect Ross Currier to be speaking after a little while. But right now, this case against Ross, if you see him standing in back of the defense attorney, that case has been dropped. Reporting live from downtown Boston, I'm Bill Shields. Back to you guys.
Bill, thank you. Now at 6, these images helped identify and expose the marathon bombing suspects. But did the FBI wait too long to release them? A congressman raised that question today in a hearing that focused on the manhunt for the bombing suspects. Lauren Lomanchik was there at that hearing. She joins us now live in Washington, D.C. Lauren.
David, and that's just one example of what some congressmen are calling the FBI's failure to communicate. They asked those questions during today's hearings of Boston's first responders, both to find out the answers about what happened, what fell through the cracks, and to make sure it never happens again.
As the Homeland Security Committee probes the marathon bombings, Massachusetts Congressman Bill Keating wants to know why the FBI waited to release photos of the Tsarnaev brothers days after the attack.
On Wednesday, there was a press conference that was announced for national audience, I believe at the Boston Police Station. And then at the last minute, that was canceled. Now, could you shed light on what was the nature of that press conference being called and why it was canceled?
We did have the photographs on Wednesday, and there was a press conference scheduled. But at that point in time, the FBI had taken jurisdiction of the case, so they were making the decisions on when the press conferences would be or not.
Former Boston Police Commissioner and WBZ security analyst Ed Davis was never given a reason for the delay.
His answer highlighted the fact there wasn't information sharing because he did not know why that occurred.
That lack of communication has been the committee's key criticism of the FBI. Tamerlan Tsarnaev had been on the Bureau's radar, but no one told BPD. Davis spoke with me after the hearing. He says things have gotten better.
Oh, there's no question. The policies have changed. The Bureau came forward and within the first few weeks after these issues were discovered, they opened up the JTTFs and it's working much better than it did.
Much of the hearing focused on the victims and the heroes, among them Watertown police officers. Applauded as they recounted dramatic moments from the manhunt.
To be standing here testifying was very humbling for me. You know, just a regular guy. These guys stood up and protected Watertown. They protected this country. Just sheer courage and bravery in what they did.
Now, the committee has released a report with a number of recommendations as to how to improve communication in the future. Both Chief DeVoe and Ed Davis say they support those recommendations, and Congressman Keating plans to introduce legislation to make them law. Live at the Capitol, Lauren Lemanchuk, WBZ News. David and Lisa, back to you.
Lauren, thank you. Let's go live now to the press conference. This is Ross Currier speaking, the man who was wrongly accused of a sexual assault in the North End.
And as far as the rest of the case goes, I mean, it's nice to hear that the charges have been dismissed, but you know, the manner in which they were dismissed is just simply unacceptable. I'm an innocent person. My record should reflect that. And you know, I certainly feel that someone needs to step forward and take responsibility for what's happened here. And simply brushing it under the rug and acting like, you know, it didn't happen isn't acceptable. Someone needs to take responsibility for the mistakes that were made throughout this entire process. The lack of due diligence by the police and, you know, everyone along the way. This could have been prevented. And the fact that no one has come forward to admit their mistakes, to own up to them, and to learn from them it's alarming, to be honest. The tone's set from the top, and if they can't do that, it trickles down, and it poisons the system. And, you know, again, I just want to thank everyone who stood by me through this. I certainly knew that I was innocent through this, as did anyone who's ever met me. You know, I understand to some degree that people are doing their jobs, but they have a responsibility to do their jobs with due diligence and to make sure they're covering all angles before moving forward with what they did.
Ross, your attorney said, but I'd like to hear from you. How hard has this been on you and your fiance?
Well, it's been extremely difficult. You know, I'd like you to take a minute and think, for those of you that have sons or brothers or friends even, if this happened to them, how would you feel? You know, how would they feel? It's certainly not fun to go through. You know, I don't wish this on anyone. It's not fun. You know, every night sitting there, you know, things start to go back to normal for you a little bit, and then you look down and, you know, I'm wearing a degrading GPS bracelet for a month. Something I didn't even, why am I wearing that? You know? Those are the things that goes through your head.
Ross, going forward now, what do you think this has done, if anything, to your life in the future? Do you think this has scarred your future in any way?
Well, I can tell you I thankfully kept my job through this. You know, I have a professional license to practice in my industry. That was almost taken from me at 26. Don't you consider that a bit of a death sentence?
Do you feel like it could truly clear your name, even without the charges?
Google it. See what you find.
Ross, the DA basically released a statement saying that the evidence lays out the evidence that makes it abundantly clear that our belief that Mr. Curry did not commit the action for which police were arrested. They told me that the statement makes it very clear that they feel that you didn't do it, that you're innocent.
Let me just address that.
You know, no cross is the way that the DA terminates a case. Dismissal is the way the judges terminate a case.
Well, I don't think I agree with that, but and we appreciate the district attorney. We've been in communication with the DA's office today. They know well that we felt that their first press statement was wholly inadequate and inappropriate, and what you are referring to is a second press release that just came out within the past few minutes, so I don't even know if other people here are aware of it. We certainly appreciate and thank Dan Conley for taking into account the concerns that we've communicated to his office today, but it's not that simple. It's about getting Ross Currier back to baseline, and that's why we're here. He needs to get back to baseline and be injury-free.
Ross, are you interested in taking legal action at all against the city or the district attorney for the damage that has been done to your reputation?
Well, I think a lot of this moves really quickly. You know, waking up this morning, I didn't even know I'd be here right now. So it's something I'll look at all of my options and definitely consider it. You know, I don't feel what they've done to this point justifies what they did to me. So we'll see.
That's Ross Currier leaving open the possibility of some kind of legal action after he was essentially cleared of all charges in an attack in the North End on Valentine's Day for the last month. He's been wearing a GPS bracelet. Today, prosecutors came out and said he is not their suspect. Now, he says he just wants to get back to a baseline.
Ross, his attorney, who was standing next to him, Attorney Merrigan, making it very clear they are unhappy with how prosecutors handled this. The district attorney did just put out a statement a few moments ago. This is from the DA, Dan Conley, saying Attorney Merrigan is a good man and he's fighting for his client who has been through a difficult ordeal. We hope he recognizes that this office also fought to uncover every piece of evidence that spoke to the truth, and once we did, we moved to drop the case. Our filing is a standard legal device that lays out the evidence and makes abundantly clear our belief that Mr. Currier did not commit the acts for which police arrested him. And of course, as you mentioned, Lisa, he is not ruling out the possibility of a civil suit, so you know this story does not end here tonight.
And we'll have much more tonight on WBZ News at 11. Coming up here on WBZ News at 6, an arson ordered by God, a man accused of torching a South Shore business and his unusual explanation.
Also ahead, the Boston Hospital giving all its ER doctors Google Glass. Dr.Mallika shows us how the high-tech innovation is aimed at improving patient care.
A UMass basketball star's groundbreaking announcement. What inspired him to reveal to friends and fans that he is gay?
And you know, we've turned the corner when a day in the 50s is the coldest day of the week. It's all uphill from here. We've got the mild forecast ahead.
Tim just refinanced his car with a DCU Second Chance car loan. He saved so much on his monthly car payment, he could afford the down payment on something a little more fun.
You know what the #1 ice cream flavor is? Vanilla. Yeah? Good old crowd please vanilla. Some people can't get enough. But if you're in the mood for something tasty, and test drive one of these.
Current non-GMOs get $1,500 toward the purchase or lease of a new Cadillac, or lease this 2014 SRX for around $379 per month. Visit NewEnglandCadillac.com.
They say the dollar's weak. Well, it's about to get stronger because Planet Fitness is having their dollar sale between now and April 10th. Sign up with Planet Fitness for only $1, then pay just $10 a month with no commitment. Only at Planet Fitness.
Termites cause structural damage, and most homeowners don't even know what's happening. Protect your investment with the Home Care Termite Program from Modern Pest Services. Call for a free, no-hassle quote over the phone. Termite problems? Not on our watch.
My Bob-O-Pedic has been nationally ranked as one of the best memory foam mattresses. And if you think it's great for sleeping, wait till you sit on it.
Built for comfort with Bob-O-Pedic memory foam cushions.
Sofa and love seat, only $7.99.
3 tables, only $169.
2 lamps, only $80.
Added up, only $10.48.
My package deal price, only $9.99.
No phony sales, no phony gimmicks.
Just untouchable value.
Thanks to you, 50 stores strong.
Jake and I have been best friends for years. One of our favorite things to do is going to the dog park together. Sometimes my COPD makes it hard to breathe. So my doctor prescribed Symbicort. It helps significantly improve my lung function starting within 5 minutes. Symbicort doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. With Symbicort, today I'm breathing better. Come on, boy.
Symbicort is for COPD, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It should not be taken more than twice a day. Symbicort contains formoterol. Medicines like formoterol increase the risk of death from asthma problems. Symbicort may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it.
Now Symbicort significantly improves my lung function, starting within 5 minutes, and that makes a difference in my breathing. Today, I'm hanging out with my best friend. Talk to your doctor about Symbicort. I got my first prescription free. Call or go online to learn more.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Payday never seems to come soon enough. But with direct deposit and free checking from DCU, you can get access to your paycheck 2 days early. Unless, of course, you don't mind waiting.
New at 6, high-tech help which can save lives. Doctors in Boston now using Google Glass in the ER every day. Doctors at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center are the first in the country to do this.
Now, these glasses are saving doctors valuable seconds, and our Dr. Mallika Marshall shows us how. Mallika?
Very cool. You know, Google introduced Google Glass technology back in 2013, and only a limited number of people have been able to try it. Beth Israel Deaconess here in Boston is the first hospital in the world to use these high-tech glasses for direct patient care.
Like getting your focus right and everything else.
Dr. Stephen Horn is an ER physician who brought Google Glass technology to the emergency room at the BI Deaconess Medical Center.
What they do is they project an image of the patient's screen, so kind of information about the patient while you're walking around.
Like the patient's name, their past medical history, even x-rays. And that information can be life-saving, especially if a patient can't communicate or doesn't know their allergies or medications. But instead of having to leave a patient's bedside to check a computer, which can waste time, the doctor has all the information he needs on a tiny screen in his peripheral vision.
So I can keep eye contact with the patient, we can keep talking, I don't have to interrupt their conversation, and I can access that information.
Google Glasses also free up a doctor's hands.
So the glass, what makes it different than other types of wearable technology is that you can be completely hands-free.
And you can talk to other providers. So if a doctor is in the middle of a procedure,
I could say, page nurse, and say, nurse, can you get me some more sedation? Thanks. And it will page them automatically, all through voice commands and voice dictation.
Ashley Aluko, who came to the ER after developing shortness of breath while running, says the glasses aren't frightening.
But not scary, just a little weird and confusing, I'd say.
But Dr. Horn says patients in general don't seem bothered by them.
No one's asking you not to use them, no one's objected. If anything, it attracts the attention of the other staff around, and everyone wants to try them.
I wanted to try them, and I did. You know, right now the BI Deaconess owns 4 of these Google Glasses at about $1,500 a pop. They're only being used in the ER right now, but they are building applications for nurses and techs, and they hope to expand it to the entire hospital sometime soon. And they took great lengths to make sure that they protect patient confidentiality.
It's very cool. It doesn't freak out the patients either.
No,
they're
that
so
one
small.
didn't seem to be bothered. Yeah, and they're incredibly light.
Very cool. Really cool. Mallika, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you have a story idea, by the way, for Dr. Mallika, email her at drmallika@cdsboston.com, or you can tweet her at Mallika Marshall. In fact, I'm going to tweet her right now. I want to know, let's see, at Dr. Mallika. Is the weather to blame for why so many people seem to be sick these days? The change in temperature, perhaps?
Right, and not just allergies, Eric. It seems like everybody's cold is back now.
Really? Oh, man, that's brutal. Come on. This is the time of year. See, I'm not in the kids' circle yet. I don't have kids going through school, and so they're bringing home all sorts of fun stuff into the house. Certainly our weather has been up and down. We know that much. Tonight, take a look up right after sunset. Mars in the east. This is going to be a beautiful sight. Its closest pass to Earth is on the 14th, which is next Monday. But tonight, clear, low humidity. It's probably the best viewing night we're going to get if you're a celestial enthusiast. Temperatures this evening, fairly comfortable. 54 Boston, Worcester's at 49 degrees. Chillier across northern New England and New York State. It's quite a bit of cold air here. It's the coldest in the whole eastern United States. And so tonight will be awful chilly. The wind has been very gusty, 20 to 30, even 35 miles per hour at times today. It's going to start to die down after sunset. The clouds are melting away. There's nothing going on weather-wise, so it's going to be very chilly by tomorrow morning, going for low temperatures in the 20s for most of the suburbs, low 30s for Boston, and up toward the Cape and the islands. It'll be a really cold start tomorrow, but as we head toward the afternoon, we're going to warm right back up, well into the 60s inland. Wind to the south-southwest means here across Cape Cod, the south coast, we're going to be in the 50s and 40s for tomorrow, so much chillier there, plus a lot of wind to deal with. So a cold start, not too much wind in the morning, but by midday that breeze is kicking up, and then in the afternoon it's going to be pretty strong, gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. Again, 60s inland, but an elevated fire risk because of that low humidity. It's not a good day to burn any brush if you're doing yard work. Tomorrow night, the clouds thicken, a front moves through. This is going to bring a couple of rain showers on Friday morning. Does not look like a lot. The clouds, though, may hang around for much of Friday, and then another wave is going to move along that heading into Saturday. So a couple of these showers to end the week. There'll be sunshine across northern New England if you're heading there. It looks like a wet Saturday morning as a little wave of low pressure ripples across just to our south. We'll clear out Saturday afternoon, and then it's really about the warm air. It starts to move in on Sunday. There'll be some cloudiness to mix in with that warmer air, and then the floodgates are fully open as we head into Monday. And this looks like the warmest day we've seen in a very long time. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. All 60s and 70s. Look at that. Morning showers on Friday, a wet Saturday morning. Most of the weekend, though, especially Saturday afternoon and Sunday, pretty decent. Monday, 70s inland, colder at the coast. And then our next big rainstorm is Tuesday into Wednesday. It's much colder behind that system. In fact, parts of New England should see snow during the middle of next week. probably not in the Boston area. David, Lisa, back to
You
you.
better not. All right, Eric, thanks. Sure would be nice for the Red Sox to get one more win at home before they go face the Yankees in New York.
Yeah, they're struggling just a little bit here, Steve.
Getaway day.
Yeah.
Getaway day.
Nice
And
to
you're
play
right,
early baseball.
Exactly. Yesterday they started at 6. Today they started at 4. Red Sox and Rangers are going at it over at Fenway Park. Sox are trying to pick up their second win of the season at Fenway, as Lisa just said. Jake Peavy, he got the start for the Sox, and he has pitched well. He struck out 8, but did give up a home run to Mitch Moreland. Sox and Rangers are tied at 1. Jackie Bradley Jr. scored on a throwing error by the pitcher in the third. Big news from the world of college basketball. Today, UMass guard Derek Gordon announced he is gay, becoming the first openly gay player in NCAA Division I basketball. Now, Gordon tweeted that after coming out, it's the happiest he's been in his 22 years of living. No more hiding. Told ESPN he was inspired when the Brooklyn Nets signed Jason Collins in February. Gordon's looking forward to knocking down stereotypes.
People think that gays shouldn't be allowed to play sports, or they're too soft, or this and that. From the looks of it, I know Michael Sam isn't soft, and Jason Collins isn't, so, and for one, I'm not soft, and I think people misinterpret that when it comes to being gay. It doesn't have nothing to do with how you perform on the court, and that's what I try to do. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm still going to play the same. I'm still going to be the beast guy that I am, but my sexuality is just different.
BC hockey team practiced at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia today, where tomorrow night they'll take on Union in the Frozen Four. This weekend is extra special for Johnny Gaudreau because he grew up in the Philadelphia area.
Definitely some time to enjoy, coming back to Shirley and coming back, of course, to my hometown and spending some time with family and friends away from the rink. But like you said, I'm here for a Frozen Four National Championship, and that's the most important thing right now is trying to help my team win a championship.
Good luck to him. Now, I talked to former Patriot linebacker Brandon Spikes on the phone just a little while ago, and I asked him why he's waged a little Twitter war against his former team. Now, Spikes, he now plays for Buffalo. He tweeted he can't wait to hand the Pats 2 losses, and he spent 4 years here as a slave. Wow, okay. He also said he's just fooling around, trying to stoke the rivalry. Things that make you go, Pats preseason opponents were released today. They'll play at Washington, then host Philly and Carolina, and we'll wrap up the preseason at the Giants. Dates and times for these games have not been finalized. UConn women demolished Notre Dame last night in a battle of the unbeaten 79-58 to win the Huskies' 9th national championship. They finished the season 40-0. It's the second time the UConn men and women have won it all in the same year. They also did it back in 2004. Celtics, they have just 5 games left in the season. They take on the Hawks in Atlanta tonight. The Green are on an 8-game losing streak right now, and they've lost 12 in a row on the road. Jared Sullinger and Avery Bradley will play tonight. Chris Humphries, he is out. And there you go. And we're out. That's sports for now.
Some people wanted them to tank, and they've been tanking.
Yep, that's just what they did.
According to plan.
Right.
Okay, still to come, ready for a smoother ride? The aggressive new plan, patch potholes.
In this fraternity, Animal House
This is where your bacon gets extra crispy.
takes on a whole new meaning.
Please let me go.
New Criminal Minds. Then, the new episode of CSI is so shocking and so twisted. The only way to experience it is to watch. Don't say we didn't warn you. An all-new CSI, right after an all-new Criminal Minds, CBS tonight.
Just in time for Easter, it's the semi-annual dress event at K&G. Choose from thousands of new dress styles for only $19.99. Plus, select designer suits are just $50 each when you buy 3. Only at K&G.
K&G.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Everybody knows that. Well, did you know bad news doesn't always travel fast?
Mr. Tompkins.
Todd? You're fired. Well, gotta run.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What is that?
Chicken and goya yellow rice.
Is it ready?
Yep.
soon as you set the table.
You'll notice the Goya difference even before you taste it. Bring the delicious flavors of onion, garlic, and Latin spices to your meal in just 2 easy steps with Goya yellow rice. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. 2 items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting. Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Just in time for Easter, it's the semi-annual dress event at K&G. Choose from thousands of new dress styles for only $19.99. Plus, select designer suits are just $50 each when you buy 3. Only at K&G. K&G.
The man who was arrested for setting fire to an adult video store reportedly told police that he did it because, quote, God doesn't like porn. Police say that John Fernald set the fire that destroyed the video store in Weymouth over the weekend, and according to the Patriot Ledger, Fernald told detectives that he is getting revenge for God, that store made him addicted to porn. He will undergo a mental health evaluation.
After a season of cursing potholes, we could be in for a much smoother ride. The state says it's spending $40 million to fix the roads. $30 million will go to cities and towns. The rest will be spent on state roads and highways. And there's a deadline here. Any community that receives a grant has to spend the money fixing potholes by September. My tires say thank you.
Can't do that. Just fill it with money. That's all. That'll fix it.
Exactly.
We're back in a moment.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
Buy 2 rooms of flooring with installation and get product for the rest of your home for $99.
877-241 Luna.
In your own backyard, your incredible state university system, 9 institutions, 300 academic programs, more than 50,000 students, 10,000 degrees awarded annually. In the past 5 years, 5,000 science and technology degrees, 4,000 healthcare degrees, 11,000 teaching degrees. 84% of graduates stay in Massachusetts, building the innovation economy for tomorrow's Commonwealth, for tomorrow's you.
Unfortunately, I didn't reach Boylston Street, but I did end up receiving a finisher's medal for the 2013 Boston Marathon. Similarly, I received a medal from the Special Olympics, thanking me for fundraising for running in their honor. You guys want to play? With the Special Olympics, I think it's a really great example of transcending barriers, and that's something that has always been important to me. We're all in this together, and we're going to cross Boylston Street, and we're going to celebrate, all of us.
Legends aren't built overnight. It takes years of crafting and perfecting every detail. So it's no surprise that Jeep Compass and Patriot both get up to 30 mpg highway. And they both have more than 30 available safety and security features. It's no wonder the Jeep brand has become synonymous with the word legendary. The Jeep Patriot and the Jeep Compass. Get a low mileage lease on the 2014 Compass Latitude or Patriot Latitude for $149 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Introducing big news. Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens for a cleaner, healthier home. And for 60 million asthma and allergy sufferers, that's worth celebrating. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
In 2007, the Red Sox won the World Championship, and we gave away over $30 million worth of free furniture to over 25,000 families. Well, if you've been sleeping on the same mattress since 2007, it's time for a new one. And now is the best time to buy. Purchase any Beauty Rest mattress, and if the Red Sox win the World Championship this season, it'll be yours free. In fact, buy anything in our store, and if the Sox win, it'll all be yours free. It's the Monster Repeat, and it's going on now.
Well, you'll be happy to hear about this. There is a new pasture for the cows of the Hilltop Steakhouse. 3 of the fiberglass cows now graze at Market Street, Linfield, which is the new shopping center near Route 95. The cows, of course, had to move when the Hilltop Steakhouse closed last fall, and you can see they're still adjusting there.
Cool. Just can't get the seat for 2 in Dodge City like you used to.
No, those days have gone. Just nostalgia.
Thank you for watching WBZ News at 6. Our next newscast is at 10 on our sister station, MyTV38.
Have a great night. We'll see you at 11, too.
12 days until the Boston Marathon, here on WBZ.